So, me and Sven don't have anything we want to review in depth this week, especially after all that, so it's time to head on to...
Quickfire Reviews!
It's now time for us to review everything we've read, watched or played, but within a maximum time limit of 60 seconds. Yeah, I'll just quickly go first.
First off, Naruto and Fairy Tail. Both have been kind of alright. Naruto has been still trying to deal with the whole plot twist regarding Toby. It's enjoyable if incredibly cheesy, and Fairy Tail has been basically dividing all the characters into teams and in true manga style, setting them up against various opponents with colourful abilities. All I can say is these battles had better be good, because the one between Grey and Rufus was just absolutely terrible. Deus Ex Machina, Ice version.
Oh god.
What's that? You can instantly memorize all of my ice attacks and just neutralize them? Well, I'll just make infinite amounts of ice weapons, because apparently I can do that.
Oh wow. Fairy Tail is heading in a disturbingly familiar direction.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Sven, how are things with Bleach?
Well, in short, all I can say is this.
Regarding Bleach, Jonin, nuts to your berries, I give up, I'm done with this, I am no longer reviewing Bleach, screw you too, I'm done, I no longer care.
Okay then.
I no longer want to do this. I don't blame you. But you cruel bastard for leaving me alone. Basically, with regard to Bleach, everyone just read a book.
I take it the last few updates haven't been that good, Sven.
Oh, just why? Oh, the last one involves some shitty pseudoscience about Zanpakuto Bankai being destroyed. I swear, even Mayuri, the certified scientist, practically lampshaded the Deus Ex Machina nature of something by saying, somehow I can't explain how, but this guy managed to get his Bankai back after having it destroyed. Smile and nod, people.
Right.
So yes, I do apologize for the outburst, but I'm done.
Fair enough.
I still have to read the thing, unfortunately, because I just mentioned the rewrite.
Yeah, well, there's always Wikipedia for that.
True, true. Oh, and just by the by, the Royal Guard that has been foreshadowed for the entire series, they look like Phoenix Wright rejects.
Yeah, I do not regret dropping this series, so...
Yeah, basically, guys, we're done. We'll see you when the rewrite's out.
Yeah. So I believe that covers everything. Not much else to mention. I'm still enjoying Pokemon Black and White 2, and I've already covered that in the blog, so...
I just really wish I could get my hands on that game. Money, materialize, please.
Oh dear. So, we'll now move on to two quick sections. First off... Audience! There was one thing I was tossing around, but we've had enough suggestions to make this section durable, even if it's just very quickly. We kind of suggested that for the audience section we should have basically a list of tropes from the website TV Tropes. For those of you who don't know it, TV Tropes is basically a website that comes up with terms for cliches that are used in stories and then catalogues all of instances that appeal in stories. And we decided to ask our audience what tropes describe me and Sven.
Basically, we put ourselves at your mercy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of dreading this because I know I've pissed off One Piece fans.
Most of the suggestions come from two people, 09112 and Roy Havenstone. I'll list them. First off, Sven has been described as the Faceless, just to get that one out of the way. Sven's also been described as plucky comic relief.
Plucky. There's a word that's never been used to describe me before.
And also, incredibly lame pun. It's meant so that you like making them a lot.
I accept this.
Yeah. Also, Roy Havenstone attached the Ruin Mode Rain one.
Oh god.
And just to make Sven cringe even more, catchphrase, beware the purple shorts.
Oh, why? Now it's gonna be beware the banana stash, just watch.
And the fan nickname, Sven the Pretty Princess Clown Light Switch Potato Cake Attorney.
Oh god! Again, Ores given me that nickname. That's my friend who actually started that.
We have also both been described as large ham and proud to be a geek.
I can see it.
I've been described as martial pacifist and perfectionist, which, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've also got blessed with suck since pointed out to the heavy delays, technical difficulties, and the fact that I took a sword to the face.
And an arrow to the knee.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, recently I took a literal arrow to the knee as well. Thankfully it hasn't crippled me.
It hasn't ended your adventuring days.
Yeah, thankfully it just ended with a bruise, but anyway.
God, you have no idea how much I laughed whenever Jonin told me that in private. I was like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have made all those jokes.
Also, more specific joke-related ones. We had the anti-climax related to my build-up of The Dark Knight Rises, which only ended until Ice Age 4. We also had Oh Yay and self-identification attached to this clip. So here we are in the month of May. Insert comment about the month.
Well, the words of the Fallout 3 soundtrack, we'll get married in the month of May. Wait. No.
I would say you gave slash pics ideas, but that implies we have slash pickers, but...
That implies we have female fans.
Yeah.
That implies we have fans.
Oh, it's funny because it's soul-shatteringly true. Anyway,
Okay, I remember that one.
yeah. And the last two he's mentioned, which pretty much go without saying, are the Berserk button and the rant.
But of course, I'm surprised no one attached Deadpan Snarker to the either of us.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising. But, yeah, thanks very much, Roy Havenstone and 091110. That's definitely helped us down on memory lane.
Yes, and I thank the both of you for not going too embarrassing on us.
Yeah.
Considering we left dignity and our entire being at your mercy.
Yeah. And just quickly, two things I wanted to briefly skim over in
News Spotlight!
And yeah, this is the section where we go over media-related news stories, blah 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 blah. Two brief Nintendo-related news stories I wanted to cover, just because they're kind of interesting. The first, which has caused some eyebrows to raise and some people to literally foam at the mouth, Shigeru Miyamoto, one of the creative heads of Nintendo, who, yeah, if you're a Nintendo fan, you really should know his name.
Yeah, considering he basically, he didn't create the company, but he sure made it what it is.
Yeah, basically he was asked why, despite the various questions, there hasn't been a new F-Zero game ever since F-Zero GX. Miyamoto replied he thought gamers got sick of it and he didn't feel there was any new concept that would justify making a new game. At least he didn't think so.
Well, obviously they're not sick of it, but the content I can understand.
Yeah, I mean, some people have pointed out that online mode would probably be a bigger step up, although, that said, Nintendo aren't really a big fan of making online the sole purpose of a game, so, yeah.
Yeah, they're not Xbox.
Yeah, so that probably won't happen, but I do agree, this is a kind of odd considering that, well, that hasn't stopped them from making several new Super Mario Bros. Titles, which have pretty much, aside from a few power-ups, all been the exact same.
That is very true.
But, aside from cheap shots, I think I can understand the source of the confusion, no, because this has started many people ranting about how, oh, Nintendo only seem to care about Mario and Zelda, why aren't they touching the other franchises? Mostly because I think Nintendo fans are more divided than they let on, because, okay, I have a hard question to ask you Nintendo fans. I want you to just take a look at the roster, the Nintendo characters. Can you honestly say you've played every single one of the games those characters came from? And can you honestly say you would care enough to buy all of the games in that franchise? Because if you did start going through them one by one, you would be incredibly surprised. And I'm easily throwing myself into this because, okay, Metroid, I've only played Metroid a confusion, and I've really not been that tempted to check out the rest.
Apparently the fact that I've also played Metroid Other M escaped my mind at the time, but yeah, the only reason I played through that game is because I'm a critic of gaming narrative, everyone was banning on about the story, and I felt like I had to have an opinion on it, for better or for worse. The only other Metroid game I've been thinking of checking out is Metroid Prime, but again, it's for the same reason. It's not because it's a game I would pick up if I had a choice, it's just because everyone else has been saying it's got a really good story, and I think I need to get an opinion on it, but honestly, that's it.
Kid Icarus, it just hasn't interested me at all. I mean, I've seen one or two clips of the cutscenes, and yes, some of the lines seem to be funny, but some of them really don't as well, so I've kind of been drawn on that. So basically, the point I'm trying to make of this is that Nintendo's fan base is really actually divided. Like, when you actually get down to which fans are not just vaguely curious about F-Zero, but fans who actually desperately want this franchise to continue, and are diehard F-Zero fans, or at least ones who desperately want a game to be made, it's actually a considerably small portion when you compare it to the large people asking for a Mario game or a Zelda game. In fact, I think that's the only common link between the different portions of the Nintendo fan base, because I'm more of a fan of Donkey Kong Fire Emblem, but I will still buy Legend of Zelda and Mario, because yeah, they're still the two flagship titles of Nintendo. So I think that's the main reason why Nintendo keeps getting mixed messages, because Mario and Zelda's the one everyone buys, whilst the several other games, they're the ones everyone demands, but then only a small audience picks them up. Or maybe not a small audience, but not as big as some of their other franchises, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get your meaning.
Although it also doesn't help when they make certain mistakes with those franchises. Shadow Dragon!
Oh god, yeah. Pro tip, if you're gonna reboot something, add things to it. Funny, we should bring that up in the MB we talk about reboots.
Yeah, that's a point. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. And finally, this is another small, vaguely Nintendo-related news story, which it's not really big on me for anyway. I just bring it up because it's a cute story that I really do like. Okay, just to give a gist. There was this guy. I really wish I could remember his name, but I don't think it's actually mentioned in the news story, to be fair. But there's this guy. He was the father of this young girl who's about, I think she was like 4 or 6 or something, and he wanted to give her a kind of role model to follow. He kind of see that, unfortunately, there aren't that many big female role models that don't even, like, ridiculously emphasize the femininity, like with Princess Peach, etc., or ones that are more in games that specifically involve the audiences. Like, you could say Female Shepherd or Samus Aran, but they're more for games outside of that audience. So he came up with this very creative solution just to try and give his little girl a role model she could follow. He picked up a copy of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. You know, seeing as how Link kind of looked fairly androgynous and that gave it his voice was high-pitched anyway, hacked the game's text, changed all instances that referred to Link's gender, and then allowed her to play this new game where Link is now this androgynous-looking girl.
Oh my god! He actually took the gender bending on DeviantArt to a whole new level.
Yeah, which is... I mean...
Wow. I'm not sure what to say to that story, because on one end, the whole gender bending thing, holy crap. But the intent was pure.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of an insult to his masculinity, but at the same time, I do actually kind of like this, because I am actually kind of touched that someone would actually go that far, just to give his girl certain role models. And for anyone who's curious, the patch is apparently available to use with emulators as well, so if you want to experience that too, you can.
Oh, but I do have to say, I can't help but wonder in my head, what's going to happen when this poor girl gets older? And then realizes the truth about Zelda.
Good point. Although, I think, in fairness, no, I think Legend of Zelda is probably a good choice because, yeah, you do have, like, the connection with the princess, but Nintendo never take it to, like, romantic levels anyway. And when the character is, like, 12 years older with a high-pitched voice, it's really not that big of a deal. Not too confusing. You can pretty much get away with it the same way that the Yellow Ranger was actually a guy in the Japanese footage they use, so...
That's fair enough, but still... That is one hell of a measure to just give a girl a role model. That's kind of impressive. But still,
Yeah,
DeviantArt gender benders bow in awe.
yeah.
Because not only is this guy's intent better than yours, he was more successful.
Yeah. And also, it actually raises a question, why don't they just give the female option for Link? I mean, he's supposed to be like an avatar for the player. Pokemon Mass Effect and several other series do it. Like, even Mega Man's done it, for crying out loud. And there's nothing specifically important about Link's gender, since, like I said, they never really push the romantic angle. It's always best friend. So, yeah, I never really got
That is actually very true.
But yeah,
And really, whenever you have a silent protagonist,
yeah,
it does raise the question, why couldn't you include the female option?
yeah. And if nothing else, it would also give Akai another lazy option for the next Smash Bros. Game, so...
Link, DeviantArt version.
But yeah, that's all the news we cover, so it's time for the final section.
Farewell!
Never thought we'd reach the point where we actually had to include that as a discussion. It has been a good road.
Yeah. Like I said in the updates, this is not going to be the permanent end of Monkey Broadcast. It's going to Monkey Broadcast has just been downgraded to pretty much like a once-in-a-blue moon type show. We'll still do the E3 special. If there's anything like majorly special we want to cover, like say if Naruto ends, or there's one game we've both been wanting to review that pops up, we'll do a Monkey Broadcast for that. But Monkey Broadcast as a monthly show, which has been going for about roughly 2 years, I would include the third year, but we had the same problem where we cancelled it for a while and then brought it back, so...
Yeah, only at that point it was because it was way too big.
Yeah, it's kind of the problem with Monkey Broadcast right now is that it is still a big show. Like, I've mentioned before, it takes a lot of editing because, as you've mentioned in the tropes, I'm a perfectionist, and so pretty much I go over and try to remove, like, every single slip-up I can. Like, there are a couple of podcasts who just basically ignore the occasional and ah. I edit out all of those because I'm that big.
Sounds like me.
I am that nitpicky and self-conscious, and oh yeah, pro tip, if you're ever self-conscious, do not try and edit yourself.
Oh god, no. I can barely listen to myself. I can only imagine what would happen if I ever got my hands on sound editing.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward process, so thanks to Monkey Broadcast, I now know every single one of my speech patterns I hate.
Oh yeah. Speaking of things that have not been so good about the series for us.
But yeah, in all seriousness though, it has been a really fun ride. It's getting things off our chest, being able to review stuff. It's also been really fun interacting with you guys. I feel like I've gotten to know the fan base we have for this channel, as small as it is, a little bit better, and I've started talking to some of them on Skype as well. That kind of stuff's always been really fun, and I'm glad I got the chance to do with it. And also, I think after this, I believe every once in a while I'll do like the Q&A specials, because this was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah. This particular entry into Q&A wasn't overwhelming like it used to be, but it was just right and I enjoyed it. We got good questions. GameCat always sends good questions, I've noticed.
Yeah, this was definitely a lot of fun, and I may do some of the audience participation sections like competitions or fake competitions. I'm not sure what I would offer as a prize. But yeah, the reason why we stopped doing the monthly show is because, well, two things. There are so many other things we want to work on. As me and Sven mentioned, we've already got several projects in the planning stages, and well, there was just so many other things I've been trying to focus on as well. I've only just recently started editing VGT again, and whilst it's good, it's still one look at this and thinking, oh boy, this is going to take me a while. I've got a radio play I'm doing for another channel I'm trying to edit. I'm still trying to finish off the talk-throughs. In fact, hell, I've recorded 2 parts of Sonic commentary. I should have uploaded them by now, but...
Yeah, but Monkey Broadcast exists, and it takes the entirety of a month to get out.
It is true that it takes up a lot of time, especially towards the end of the month, when I'm desperately trying to put all the finishing touches to it. And there have to be so many conceptions made when I'm constantly trying to meet the deadline and my free time gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, we used to start this off with images. That's the whole reason we invented these avatars in the first place. And I still remember the big fan reaction whenever Sven finally got a WTF face.
Yeah, and the big Sven reaction.
Yeah, that was the whole reason we introduced those in the first place, but now I can't really make any more concessions, and both me and Sven, we're running out of material because we don't always want to go in-depth onto the things we review, and you guys are awesome, and I can kind of understand you don't always want to ask us questions, so we can't...
Yeah, so we can't really pad that out any. We just really gotta hope we have a good discussion that week.
Yeah, and honestly, I've noticed that my discussion ideas are becoming desperate, and generally, they seem to be repeating the same things over and over again. I mean, last week's discussion, whilst we did have some good points, whilst editing, I kept wanting to slam my head against the desk, because I kept repeating the damn saturation and understanding of the stakes points over and over and over again, and I felt like screaming, for God's sake, we get it, shut up!
Yeah, I kind of see what you mean. I mean, we've had good discussions like the whole pairing wars thing. That was probably one of my favorite moments on the show because I finally got to release all the frustration I built up over the course of 2 straight years. But
yeah,
we're kind of running thin.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why we can't really keep it up for a month. That doesn't mean I won't put deadlines on some things, like, starting next year, I may even put either a deadline on VTT or make it so that we get, like, at least 1 talk-free pod per week. Obviously, I need a backlog so that I don't keep missing deadlines, but, I don't know. It's something I may do, so you'll still see content from us, but Monkey Broadcast is going to have to be put on the back burner, because, frankly, it's a colossal beast that eats time by the bucket load.
Yeah, it's an insatiable editing bear that eats up free time and sometimes takes the entirety of afternoons to do, or in Jonin's case, evenings.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much the reason why we've had to put it to rest. We've had a good run, and we will definitely still be around, but just not as regularly as it used to be. It also doesn't help that the viewing figures for it are kind of slowly dwindling for it as well, and I know that I shouldn't be chasing viewers, but when you get something like 10 views for a part that took you like almost half a month to edit, it is kind of depressing. It's, like I said, it's nothing against you. If you didn't want to watch it, that's perfectly fine. It's just, from my perspective, it just means it's not something I should be focusing on, if that makes sense.
I'm going to use this as a point of comparison since you brought up your other channel. On the other channel that has like 10 subscribers, the radio play that Jonin mentioned earlier, Legacy of the Stray Wolf, got more views than Monkey Broadcast has been getting on a channel with 10 subscribers.
Yeah.
So, we're not really getting the view payoff that a half a month editing project should really take. It's not filling out. We're not going to blame you if you aren't particularly interested, but if you're not particularly interested, why are we keeping it around?
Yeah, pretty much. So, that's pretty much the way we're going. Obviously, we're still having fun with the talk-through parts, and we may do some occasional review bits. There's still new talk movies to come through as well. Once Jungle Climbers finished up, which is basically just 2 parts away, I'll either be going on to DKC Returns or Tales of Symphonia, so that'll be an interesting thing to do.
Oh yeah, Tales of Symphonia. I would love to do that one, but then again, that's kind of a console project.
Yeah, and like I said, we may do some fun experiments as well, and I also do have some ideas for like a smaller review series I can get out more regularly, and I may include Sven on it, but like I said, we'll see how it goes. But for now, it's farewell to Monkey Broadcast in its current form, so yep, that's pretty much us the end of it. If you have any opinions on the matter, feel free to use the comment section, that's what it's there for. And don't forget, you can still check out my weekly written reviews at www.thejoninmonkey.tumblr.com, Tumblr without an E for some reason. But for now, I'm going to sign off and say sayonara. That was me, the Jonin Monkey.
And me for the semi-last time, Sven the banana staff, purple shorts, apple juice drinking... No, that's you. Orange juice drinking Crusader. Yeah, well, either that, or wait, what was I gonna go with that?
What would we like to see in the next Smash Brothers? What loud vehicles would we like to remove from the discussion?
segued so beautiful. So beautifully.
Basically, the glitch was, it was the third level, the one where, oh god, I'm trying to remember her name. The Archer and Crom, the thief, we got...
T, anyway.
Oh god, my phone is painful. Where's my bloody drink?
Bring me my apple juice, damn you! I need to drown my sorrows.
Oh jeez. I've just announced to the internet that I want Bodacious Space Science, right?
I just announced to the internet that I'm a brony. Where's my drink? All I have is water.
Well, you can drown yourself in water, quite literally.
I'm not quite that desperate, so I'm just gonna pretend this is a scotch.
Yeah. That's probably the best way. Anyway. Okay, time to get our review caps on. Sven, you said you had a couple of things to review here?
Actually, literally a couple. I have 2 things to review.
Oh, hooray.
I'm just waiting on the timer.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I was supposed to do that. Oh, curse it. Alright. Sorry, I'm trying to continue, but I've now got this banana with a mustache stuck in my hair.
Oh, God.
Speaking of still having fun with the videos,
Oh, yeah. Just watch the latest... watch the latest in puberty, apparently.
That was Monkey Broadcast, a monthly review and discussion show hosted by the Jonin Monkey and Sven the Crusader. If you feel that you've been the subject of slander or that your copyright has been misused, please PM me and I'll try and get round to fixing it as soon as possible. We also welcome any comments, be it feedback or your own viewpoints on any of the things we've discussed. Have fun, kids!